Hi everybody, it's Julie from Silver Birch Studio, and today I thought we would do some mandala magic. This is something that I love to do when I'm just not sure what I want to paint and I just want to do something, and it just kind of is very easy and it flows and it's fun to do, and you get a great effect in a short amount of time. So let's grab your iPad and let's do this. To start off with, there's links down below for a free palette and a free paper to use this time. It's actually the same paper that we used in my last video, if you caught that one, the colorful bouquet paper. But we're going to use that. It's a watercolor texture paper. When you open up the document, you'll see the paper texture on top. You paint on the layers below. So we're going to go ahead and duplicate these layers a few times, give ourselves some extra layers to work with. We'll start on the bottom one, and we're going to go to our wrench up here, go to Canvas, Drawing Guide, and then Edit Drawing Guide. And this will pull up something like this. You'll want to switch to Symmetry and then select Options. And under Options, this menu will pop up. You want to pick Radial. Your rotational symmetry can be on or off depending upon the look that you want. I'm going to start with it off, and you want your assisted drawing on. Now, as far as your grid color and size and opaqueness, that kind of thing, that's adjustable down here. I'm actually going to select a nice dark color, and I'm going to make it quite thick and quite dark, quite opaque, so that you can see it really easily. Normally I would work with this less thick and less opaque so that I can see better what I'm doing, but I want you to see really clearly on the video what we're up to. So I'm going to go to our palette. This is the palette that's linked down below, Mandala Magic. It's got several groupings here that work with a DuoColor brush. Let's go up to our color palette first and select our colors. This is the free palette that's linked down below. I'm going to use this first color palette, but I provided a few others that you can try out too that I think make for interesting mandalas, some striking colors. So I'm going to select this first pairing, the yellow, and then the red. You want your red to be selected in the circle up here. Now for a brush, I'm going to be using my SBS DuoColor Smooth Blooms Watercolor Magic brush, but you can use any kind of brush that you like. Only a DuoColor brush will use the dual colors to give you that great effect, but any brush that you want, you can use. It's a good idea to use one that has the pressure taper on it, and I'll show you what I mean. Start off gentle, heavy pressure, light pressure. You'll get this nice tapering effect, and there you can see the DuoColor in effect. So let me double tap that to go back, erase that. Now the thing about this, there's really no right or wrong. Whatever you want to do will look good. There's something magic about the repeat and the symmetry that really make almost anything look good. So let's start out. I'm going to start out with light pressure, then go heavier, heavier, swirl it in, taper down. Pretty okay with that. We can probably clean some stuff up here. If you've seen my videos before, you know that I'm a big fan of the liquify tool. And I want to just clean up some of this that I'm not quite happy with. So rather than redo the whole thing, I'm going to go up to my magic wand tool, the liquify tool, and I'm going to use the edge tool. I think somewhere around 15% will work for this one. Now the nice thing about the drawing assist is that it will apply to all of the edges of the entire thing. So you get that cleanup effect on everything, even though you only did it on one of them. I think we can actually improve this down here too. So let's use, I'm drawing outside of the paint because the edge tool works by pulling the pigment towards it. So in this case, I want to make this a little bit more full and round. And then just to clean it up, I'll run it right along the edge itself. Now I'm going to do that on the other side to clean up and just give myself a nice look here. I'm pretty happy with that. I think we can go with that. Let me zoom back out again. Switch back to my brush. I think that's a good start for us. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to duplicate that. And this I'm going to use to make my next part of the mandala. So in this case, I'm going to go to the Move tool, Uniform. My snapping is on, but not the magnetics. I have my distance currently set at 13, my velocity at max. You'll probably need to adjust these to find whatever's comfortable for you, that works best for you. So this layer I'm going to make a little bit smaller, just for something different. I'm going to pop it back to the center and I'm going to rotate it 45 degrees. So that gives us the second part of our mandala. Now let's switch back to here. We're going to go to the next layer up, click on that, make sure that Drawing Assist is on. And now we're going to do the next part of our mandala. So again, using the pressure to create our look, using the pressure to create our look here. Start out gentle, heavier pressure, lighter pressure. I think that's good. I'm happy with how that looks. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to switch to my Move tool. I'm going to make it smaller. Move it to the center. Rotate it 45. In this case, I'm being cut off, so I need to make it smaller still. So let me reset. Bring it down a little bit more in size. Move it back to the center. You'll see it snapping in place with the guides there. And then we'll rotate it 45 degrees. And I think that looks good. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'll click back on the brush. So this is a good start to our mandala. I think we could do one more layer to fill in some of these empty areas. So let's go up to the next layer. Click on Drawing Assist. Back to our brush, still using the same brush, same color. I think it helps with the repeat to have a theme with your colors. Happy with that. That looks okay. The nice thing, as I mentioned before, the nice thing about the symmetry effect is that really whatever you do is going to have a great impact because of the repetition and the symmetry. The effect that you get can be amazing. So let's take that. Let's duplicate that one. Move to the Move tool. Rotate it 45. Trying to decide if that adds anything or not. Let me make it a little smaller, I think. Move it to the center, snapping on that grid. Rotate 45. That I think is better. I think the difference in size helps there. So click off that. So I think this gives us a good basic mandala. Good first start if this is your first time making them. Now the next step is to duplicate each layer. We're going to go up to the Magic Wand tool, Hue, Saturation, and Brightness, Layer. Bring your brightness all the way up, what we're going to do is we're going to turn this white, duplicate it again, pinch those together. I'll show you why in a minute here. Duplicate again, and maybe one more time just for good measure. Now we're going to move that below the layer that we copied. And what that does is we're going to pitch those together. What that does is it makes it opaque, but it still has that watercolor look to it. And we're going to do that with each of the layers. And then we're going to rearrange them however we like. So let me put the brightness up. I'll show you one more time on this one. This is the next layer. Duplicated it, magic wand, brightness, duplicate, pinch, go again. The nice thing about leaving it on top is that you can see when it really turns white and disappears. I think we're going to go one more time just for good measure. Move that below the layer we just copied, pinch them together, and now they're a set. Let me turn these off as I go just so that you can see better what I'm doing. I'm going to do this one more time to show you, and then I'll speed it up so that you don't get bored watching me do the same thing over and over again. So duplicate the layer, magic wand, hue, saturation, and brightness, layer, brightness to the max, duplicate, duplicate again. See, it's still there, so I'm looking for it to completely disappear against the white. So let me pinch those together, duplicate again. That's gone basically, so I think we're good there. Move it below, pinch that together. Moving on to the next one. Here's where I'll speed up the video so that you don't have to watch me do the same thing over and over again. And I'll be back in just a minute. Stay tuned. Okay, and we are back. Let me turn all these layers back on now. Now, one of the fun things is arranging them in the order that you want, and you'll find that you get this great weaving effect when you adjust the layers. So let's move this one down a few layers. Let's move this one up. I think we'll move this one down. And I actually think I'm going to take this bottom one and move it up to the top. Let's see what we've got here. You'll find that it gives you this really cool layering effect because we've made each layer opaque. So even though you can sort of see through it, it sort of has that great watercolor effect to it. You can layer the layers without seeing each other through. So you get this really cool effect. So that's basically all there is to it. So now you've got the basics of how to do a watercolor mandala in Procreate. You can take this and run with it. You can come up with all kinds of fun things. Here I'm going to show you some of the other mandalas that I've made recently, just to give you some ideas and show you the possibilities. Have fun with it, make lots of beautiful art. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. Please let me know if you have requests for any other videos, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching, and take care.